Day 11 of buying my reseller warehouse. Filming today from the very back of the new building. This room was some kind of a nursery room for the church that was here before I moved in. And I wanted to film back here because it shows you one of the things I've been kind of working on today. My wife just left a little while ago because I needed her advice about colors, colors to go on the wall. I had picked out a blue that I thought was pretty good looking. The painters put some of it on a wall covering up a room where there was one wall of yellow. And I thought it was pretty good because I like blue, but my employees and my wife were kind of aghast. They said it looked like sort of an IKEA blue. And so I told my wife, I said, well, you know, the painters are coming tomorrow, so you have opinions about this color. You need to come out and give me your advice. So she just left a little while ago. When I first looked at the building, a lot of the building is white. You know, the walls are white. And so to me, that was fine. And because the church was here, they had taken pretty good care of it. And other than there being some nails in the wall or little screws in the wall where we need to putty up and cover over, you know, I would say probably 2/3 of the space really doesn't need to be painted. Again, just maybe touched up if there's something. But then there's walls like this that are kind of, this one's a gray color. Again, I thought this gray was fine. I didn't really see a problem with it. But the problem was in one of the rooms, there's a lot of purple on the wall because again, that was sort of a color theme of the church. And so what would we do? Originally, I thought, oh, let's just, you know, we'll paint it over gray like this. Or when my painter showed me that blue that I thought was kind of pretty, I said, oh, let's go with, you know, let's just call it IKEA blue so you can know what flavor it was. But she has kind of convinced me that no, I need to just make everything white, which is a little boring, but you know, when you're in here and there's nothing else in the room except for the gray carpet and you know the ceiling and the walls, that's all you can see. There's nothing else in here. It's hard to kind of, you know, remember that once this place is all full of stuff, that's not what your eyes are going to be drawn to. Your eyes are going to be drawn to, you know, the shelving and all the stuff that's going to be going on, the memorabilia, the stuff, the frames on the wall, whatever. So the wall is really just going to be not that important. I think I got sort of wrapped into thinking, you know, just sort of visually that the color was going to be like a big deal, like I need to have like an accent wall. But she kind of reminded me like you wouldn't naturally have one wall that was a different color than the rest of the building. And I think for the church, because that was where their stage was and that's where all the focus was for their services, then it mattered to them to have a different colored wall. But in a normal business, you wouldn't. So I think she has won. I will not won. You know, you never really, you know. Everyone has opinions. So I will call the painters here after I finish recording, and we'll let him know kind of the decision. And hopefully that will not be a problem for him. I think if he paints like an overcoat, like a kills it kind of layer on this, that'll allow him to go back over with some white that hopefully can kind of match this. And I think he's able to match the colors with his phone. There's like an app for that. Imagine that. That will help you pick out what color that is. So hopefully that'll be fine. So day 11, what I did was I had came over. The electricians were here. They worked the whole weekend, and they put in a lot of lighting. So the lighting that you can't see here, I'm looking at, are some of the new LED panels they've installed. They've been working really diligently in the big room to add lighting. The very front room now has the new panels in it. And so they're going to come back tomorrow and maybe the next day to finish up, and they should be totally done in a few days. They also have a couple other wiring projects they're going to do. My daughter came over for a couple of hours and helped me with shelving. We made a Lowe's run and got a lot more lumber, brought it back. And I think I might be kind of reaching the point with the shelving where I may have built just about what I need. We have existing shelving at the old building that needs to come over here. And I think I might be at the point where I can take that shelving, maybe adapt it to the new design that I'm using. And I'm not sure I need to buy any more lumber. Hopefully I haven't bought too much already, but I think I can make use of it. Because, you know, even in a space like this, we need to have shelving. And so, you know, shelving's not going to be the thing that I have too much of. I'm going to probably need more. So, but that's a good problem to have. So anyways, it's been a good long day working at the warehouse, you know, trying to make progress. I've kind of purposely not turned the heat on here, trying to save some money. And so that's why I've got my little toboggan on. But wait, there's one more story to share. So the electrician's up there in the, they're up in the roof, running their wires, doing what they got to do in the attic. And so one of the guy comes down, and he said, there's something up there. I was like, well, what do you mean? He said, I saw something scurry away. And I said, oh, like a mouse? And he said, no, I think it was bigger than a mouse. And I was like, oh, okay, like a cat? And he showed me a picture where he had showed me a picture of where the animal had defecated, and it was definitely not a mouse. Just my personal experience of being an ecology director for several summers at Scout Camp. This was not mouse poop. And so I fear, being that I'm in the South, that I somehow have a possum or some other critter in the attic. And it is so bizarre. Because this is a brick building that has vinyl siding wrapped around it in the places, with the eaves and stuff. And I'm just like, how the hell would a critter have gotten in there? I don't even think it's a squirrel. I don't know. I didn't see it. So great. One more expense. So tomorrow I'm going to call an exterminator, as one would, to find out what they can do to come over. And I guess they can trap it. You're not probably supposed to, kill a mammal like that. But I don't know. I haven't seen the animal, and so it's a bit of a mystery. But definitely something in the attic. So I need to get that investigated. So man, it's always something, just when I'm thinking I'm making progress and getting ready. But anyways, day 11. We are going to be, hopefully by the end of this week coming up, we're going to be moving into this space as far as our live listed inventory. And then about a week from tomorrow, so if tomorrow was day 11, basically like day 18 or something is when the moving company is going to come. So there will be a lot of other installments. I really wanted to film day 11, this video at least, from outside of one of the buildings that I mentioned in an earlier video about the chapter about Roger, who was potentially going to sell me some of the buildings that he had. And I wanted to film outside there today, but it was raining all day long. It was like cold and raining. And I just, couldn't do it, obviously. But I will try to get over there this week and make that be the backdrop for one of the videos this week, would be taking you guys to that building. Because I enjoyed going to Penna's place and kind of seeing that. But, it's like everything. It's just worked out like it was supposed to be. I wasn't really supposed to buy one of those buildings from Roger. There would have been problems, and I'll tell you about that in that video when I show it. And obviously in yesterday's video I talked about Penna's place and some of the problems that would have been associated with that. So man, it all worked out. I just gotta get this freaking possum out of the roof or whatever he is out of my attic, and get the painters over here tomorrow and get started. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching this video. There is a playlist if you want to watch all of them all the way through. You can click on the playlist, and of course always leave comments, especially if you have some questions for me. I will be addressing some of the comments maybe in tomorrow's video that I've gotten already in the series, even though I'm recording a few days ahead, just to give myself a little bit of a backdrop. So all right, thanks very much for watching. Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper on eBay.